The ice storms of Crithera 7 howled outside the settlement dome, each gust threatening to tear the reinforced structure from its foundations. Inside, Alara Wynn sat cross-legged on the cold floor, her breath misting in the inadequate heating as she studied the creature before her. Cub Sarek was barely 3 cycles old young by Critheran standards, but already his claws could rend steel and his jaw could crush bone. His obsidian scales reflected the dim emergency lights, and his 6 eyes tracked her every movement with predatory precision. By all accounts, he should have killed her months ago. The evacuation ships left yesterday. Sarek's translator device crackled, his native tongue a series of growls and clicks that the machine rendered into halting standard. Your kind fled when the solar flares intensified. The colony is lost. Alara didn't flinch. She'd stopped flinching around Critherans after the first week. I'm aware, yet you remain. His head tilted, a gesture she'd learned indicated confusion rather than threat assessment. Why do you stay? The human woman reached into her pack and withdrew a thermal blanket, the last one from the medical bay. Without hesitation, she draped it over Sarek's trembling form. The cub's biology wasn't designed for cold, none of his species was. They were apex predators from a world of endless summer, brought here by human colonists who thought they could domesticate the perfect guard animals. They'd been wrong. Because you need me, Alara said simply. Sarek's translator sputtered with what might have been laughter or disbelief. I am Critheran. We need nothing from prey species. Really? Alara stood and walked to the medical station, her movements deliberate and calm. Then why haven't you eaten me yet? You've had 4 months of opportunity. The cub fell silent. It was true when the Critheran breeding program had collapsed and the adults had gone feral, slaughtering half the colony before being put down. The surviving cubs had been left confused and starving. The evacuation orders came swiftly: abandon the planet, leave the cubs to die. They were too dangerous, the authorities said. Too unpredictable. Everyone had agreed except Alara Wynn. She returned with a nutrient pack, the synthesized protein mixture glowing faintly blue. Sarek's nostrils flared hunger overriding pride, and he snatched it from her hands, careful not to let his claws touch her skin. Your people call us monsters, he said between ravenous bites. Some do. Alara settled back onto the floor, pulling her own thin jacket tighter. But I've seen what humans can be when we're scared and desperate. We're not so different from you. Humans are weak, fragile. But there was less conviction in his words now. Physically? Sure, she smiled, a tired expression that didn't reach her eyes. But we're stubborn. We're too stupid to know when we're supposed to give up. The dome shuddered as another ice storm battered against it. Alara checked her datapad. The structural integrity was at 37%. Another week, maybe 2, before catastrophic failure. The communications array was dead, destroyed by the solar flares. No rescue was coming. You will die here, Sarek observed, his multiple eyes studying her with something that might have been concern. Probably, Alara admitted. But you won't, not if I can help it. Why? The question came out almost plaintive, the voice of a child rather than a predator. I do not understand your species. We killed your people. We are weapons you created and lost control of. Alara was quiet for a long moment, staring at the storm beyond the transparent aluminum walls. When I was young, my family had a saying, we don't abandon pack. You didn't ask to be created. You didn't ask to be brought to a world that's killing you, and you're just a kid, Sarek. A scared, confused kid who lost his family. Critherans do not have family. We have clutches. Survival groups. Call it whatever you want. She met his gaze steadily. But I've watched you cover the younger cubs with your own body when the heating fails. I've seen you give them the larger share of food. You protect them. Sarek's scales rippled embarrassment, she'd learned. Instinct, nothing more. Maybe. Alara pulled out another nutrient pack and tossed it to him. But instinct or not, it means you understand what I'm doing. On some level, you get it. The cub caught the pack but didn't open it immediately. The others, the 5 younger ones, they will not survive alone. I know. If you stay, you cannot save them all. The resources are insufficient. I know that too. Then your sacrifice is illogical, wasteful. Alara laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Welcome to humanity, kid. We've built entire civilizations on illogical, wasteful sacrifices. We call it hope. She stood and moved to the environmental controls, coaxing a few more degrees of warmth from the failing system. Behind her, Sarek watched with those ancient, knowing eyes. I have sent a signal, he said quietly. Elara froze. What? 2 days ago when you slept. I repaired the emergency beacon. His claws clicked against the floor. I used the technique you taught me. The one for fine motor manipulation despite having claws designed for killing. Her heart hammered. Sarek, why didn't you tell me? Because you would have insisted it was unnecessary. That I should save my strength. He moved closer, his massive form surprisingly gentle. But you taught me something else, Elara Wynn. You taught me that that family protects each other. Tears stung her eyes, freezing on her cheeks in the cold. The signal might not reach anyone, perhaps. But as you say, hope. He carefully placed the thermal blanket back around her shoulders. And if it does not? Then we face the ice together. You are pack now. Critherans do not abandon pack. Outside, the storm raged on. Inside, a human and a predator cub sat side by side, sharing warmth in the dying light. Neither knew if rescue would come. Neither knew if they would survive the night. But both understood finally what it meant to stay when staying was the hardest choice of all. Because that's what family does.